Hey guys, so today I just wanted to do a quick vlog on music and marketing and how your mindset might actually be holding you back when it comes to promoting yourself and just selling your music and getting people to take you seriously as a professional in the business world, whether you're a musician or not. So this is going to be largely unedited, so bear with me. But I was looking up on Google how to uh, set your pricing as a musician, and the results were a little disheartening. It was basically a bunch of angry vloggers, or bloggers, I guess, angry bloggers saying how underpaid they are in the music world. And I was like, this doesn't look good. And even people I talked to were like, oh yeah, no one will pay you that much. And I just started to realize, like, aren't we our own worst enemy? Like, I do think that you need to diversify your incomes. So, a few things that you can be doing passively besides doing gigs and actually getting paid for them. And also, don't do too many free gigs. I'll get to that in a sec. But you should have a Patreon. Don't have one yet, but we'll see. You should have Spotify. You should have your songs out everywhere. You should use free distribution if you can. Although DistroKid is what I went with. But I would recommend Root Note if you're just starting out like me and you don't have like a real fan base yet. Also, Quarantine Karaoke, really great group to join to promote yourself. However, you have to be really careful about the way you do it. You have to basically do a pretty long, no interruptions kind of live video of covers, and then put your link in the description for people to buy your merch, and hopefully they'll take it. I've seen some musicians put a few too many links. I would actually recommend try to keep that to a minimal, because then people can get overwhelmed. That's just from a viewer's perspective. I've seen a musician do that named Sawyer Auger, and I highly recommend his music and just following him. He's just a normal musician, and somehow he's still getting hired for gigs right now through all this. So he's been a real inspiration to me during the quarantine. So you can see people like him, and also you can see just like regular people just having fun doing karaoke. So it's a really wide range of stuff. Basically, another thing you can do, absolutely get a Twitch. It's kind of saved my life. But the next part I wanted to get to is that, okay, I have a couple gigs. I think they are definitely worth keeping. However, they are no way to, I guess, be seen as a serious professional in the industry. Like, they could open some doors eventually, but my fear is that I'm still gonna be playing for free, and then more people are gonna just ask me to play for free. And so my question then became, how do we put a price on this? So that's how I came up with the idea of making flyers. And actually, it was because it was a terrible reason why. I mean, I had made flyers before without much success because I was trying to hand them out in person, and with COVID, that just made things really awkward. Basically, to sum it up, and I didn't really get anyone all that interested. But part of that was just a situational thing. But I realized I need to be posting them because a lot, I know my favorite band, they have really simple merch, just like this blue and white t-shirt, and I mean, they didn't become my favorite band until I had a t-shirt from them, and I realized that was something I needed to be doing for my brand. So definitely make t-shirts. They seem like such a weird thing to make when the primary thing you do is music, but they really do work, especially at your own concerts or if you're playing at a venue. But the thing is that I wanted to talk to you guys about is apparently, so I did some research, and I would say for most of the US and the world, it's pretty universal, give or take, what the price would be for a musician, and it ranges anywhere from $50 an hour to like $1,000 an hour, depending on what you're doing. A more average range would probably be like for a restaurant gig. Weddings are usually more in the thousands range, but a restaurant gig is like 50 to 600 per hour. And of course, there's not really any wedding gigs going on for anyone. I don't even know if I can go to a family member's wedding coming up really soon. So yeah, it's a tough life for musicians right now. However, I wanted to tell you guys that we need to stop, as musicians, having this mindset of lack. And this is why I'm creating this company, Feminist Swap Records, because, I mean, people laugh in my face when I say the name. It's like, no, really. Feminism isn't just about women. It's about the fact that women are more often valued for their face or their bodies than like what they're actually creating. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like people don't treat men that way. I don't know. I'm curious to know like other perspectives. I mean, I guess if you're like a really attractive man, that might apply to you. I don't know. I really don't know. I can't speak for the other gender that I'm not. But the reason why I created the company is just that I feel like women have a tendency to undervalue themselves and think that, oh, because, for example, like nursing, I guess male nurses, I don't know if this is true, but male nurses supposedly get paid more than female nurses, regardless, like even if they both have the same amount of experience and expertise, which I just think that's not fair. And I've seen, it's not just with music, I've seen this in landscaping and plumbing and nursing, like all sorts of professions. People are undervaluing themselves, and they're either getting overworked, and you know, they're not getting the kind of hours. They're either underworked or overworked. For, it's like, you need to demand what you deserve. And also, it can happen so easily. Like I said, with plumbing, with landscaping, or music, playing for families at families' houses. It can be so easy to just forget that, like, this costs something to do. Like, between the travel expenses and the equipment expenses and the 8 hours of practice you put in before even doing it, so you can try not to mess up, and you might still mess up anyway. And then then there comes the crippling fear of people not wanting to hire you again. And it's just like, that's why I like Twitch so much, because I can mess up and people aren't going to judge me for it. And if they want to leave, they can. So the hardest part about playing for venues is that, well, people can come and go as they please, and it's going to be a whole load of reasons why they might come and go. It might not have anything to do with the music, but the venue themselves, they are there all the time. So it's not necessarily about, at least if it's a restaurant. Concert's a little different. And also you should definitely charge more for concert tickets if you can than your per hour rate at a restaurant. That's another thing I learned. But at a restaurant, it's like the venue person has to stay interested. And I don't want that to like scare you guys from like not doing restaurant gigs, because they are such a good way to just get you out there and actually, because you never know who's watching, and like people could, say someone from another restaurant sees you, they might actually want to hire you. Because, I mean, think about how many restaurant managers there are. There's a lot, at least around here. So that's a lot of opportunity. And the thing that kills me is like people never think to ask the places that aren't hiring musicians yet. I'm like, hello? Some people, especially right now is prime time to get hired as a musician. And I don't see anybody doing it. I see musicians who have been hired for thousands of gigs just completely giving up because of the pandemic. And the thing is, you just have to be assertive. And for me, it's like I'm only gonna basically do outdoor gigs. That's pretty much it. Rain or shine. Because I mean, fortunately, we haven't gotten a lot of rain this summer, but you need to reel people in, and that's why tonight I'm creating flyers. And honestly, I'm a little lost. I don't really know what to put for my price per hour, but I realized that $50 an hour, wow, that's apparently the beginning price for a lot of people. A lot of people end up finding it's not enough, and I've heard of stories on blogs that musicians had trouble raising it later, even after earning a restaurant's trust and all that. It's like really hard. So you either have to do one of two things. You have to be pretty ballsy, for lack of a better word, in negotiating with them, or you have to leave them and be like, okay, that was what it was. You can find better work elsewhere. It's just like any other job. But what kills me is that I don't think, it's a strong opinion to have, but I don't think musicians should be paid minimum wage. It's because sometimes with the per hour rate, and considering that you're not working 8 hours in a day, otherwise you'll be completely wiped out. And then the travel expenses and stuff, it's just not easy. I mean, I guess if you can fill 8 hours, that's pretty amazing, but it's probably not going to happen. So it's just like, that's why, and $50 sounds like a lot per hour, but it's really not. I mean, $150 for 3 hours, it's just like nothing. So I'm thinking, especially if you only have those like once or twice a week, because there are certain days of the week that restaurants don't even book musicians at. And it's like, sometimes that might mean that in your flyer you gotta be like, or when you hand it to them, if you already have a few gigs, just be like, I'm only free Tuesdays. Take it or leave it. The other thing I wanted to tell you guys about was how can you make your music business at a venue more personal. And I haven't tried this. It's not a tried and true method, but I'm going to try it, so I'm sharing this idea with you guys. And let me know what you think. But a lot of the times when people are playing at venues, they always play covers. They never play originals. I do think there's a point to that, but like, you can definitely sneak originals in there. That's my plan. I'm like, most people don't even know the difference anyway. When you really ask them, they usually don't. So, especially if you don't say anything, because you're not supposed to. That's the other thing. Like, definitely don't have too much commentary, which is something I'm struggling with at the moment. Having too much commentary in between songs. So, which is certainly allowed while streaming and actually encouraged while streaming on Twitch. But when you're at a real gig, you have to kind of be business face. And however, something that you can do is that I'm not seeing people do is like, everyone has a tip jar, and the thing is, people probably won't tip a lot if they don't know what it's for. So it's good to say tips for college, or tips, which I might say, or tips to buy me a coffee, which I might say, because I'm a huge Starbucks fan. I can't get enough. The other thing is having a merch table. And that's a really controversial one. And so that's why I'm thinking, rather than just saying, yeah, I'm gonna have a merch table, like, I don't wanna say it, I'm gonna show it on my flyer. I'm gonna be like, this is required, because I don't trust myself to say it, everything I need to say within 10 seconds. It's definitely good to have that 10-second spiel that you give to a restaurant manager if you're trying to get hired. However, if you're not, you got to know your strengths. I know that's not one of mine, so but I know I'm really good at creating visual stuff and visual arts and flyers, so I can try it. But also make sure you don't keep things too wordy if you're creating a flyer. And have your set list. That is so important. Have your set list and say which ones are covers, which ones are originals. I'm planning on saying covers, which is quite a few. I think it's going to amount to about the same, maybe 36 songs total, but then it'll say originals on the right because it's 18. Actually going on 19 because I have a couple more I'm working on. But at the bottom, I'm going to write something like can take requests. Just something really simple. Can take requests. Yeah. Which some restaurant venues might not like. So I figure what the best thing I could do to save my time is definitely talk to them in person, because that's gonna make it way more likely that they'll hire you. And like ask for the manager so they know who you are. It's not just a piece of paper that gets thrown on the ground by the wait staff, an angry member of the kitchen staff, as Robin Williams said in what was it? Not Tootsie, Mrs. Doubtfire. Gosh, I can't believe I got those mixed up. But yeah, so don't get your flyer thrown away by an angry member of the kitchen staff. Make sure you actually hand it directly to the manager and answer all their questions concisely, and expect questions from them when you do it. But just tell them, hey, most of your questions can probably be answered on the flyer. So I'm going to do that on the back. I'm making it double-sided because I think it's just going to make it does cost more, but I think it's just going to make it more effective. The only thing is I'm a little stuck for a photo, because I can show you guys, this is my business card, and I don't really know what photo to do besides this. And like the one for my YouTube is kind of grainy. Maybe I'll use it since it's my YouTube photo. And then this has all my albums, and if you're trying to create a business card, this is a really great idea. And oh crap, I forgot to tell you guys about my CD. So I'm gonna be right back with that. Stay tuned. So just to give you guys an idea, this is my entire box of CDs. It's quite heavy. And it's 100 of them, which I think is a pretty good base number to start with, because I feel like 50 won't be enough, but 100 I think I can do. Especially right now with the pandemic. If I was in school, I would do 200, but anyway. These are my, I'm like winded from that. these are my CDs, and if you remove the disc, I'm planning on signing this with Sharpie, and used to not be able to do that, actually. Used to not be able to write with Sharpie, but I don't think it'll ruin the disc, especially with this coating on it. But yeah, if you see this side, it's me spun around, which is perfect. And I kind of like how it pokes through here, because you might be like wondering, hey, what's the image underneath? And then, so it has the list twice, because it was a little hard to fit it all in one thing, so I put it on the back as well, in case that font's any easier to read, and that way it's just like people know exactly what's on it. And it says Feminist Pop Records at the bottom. Barcode, I use disc makers to, and disc makers also has a promo video thing that you can make. Well, it like generates a 3D preview for you, which is pretty cool, but I think a lot of people, because there's so many scammers out there, I think it's definitely helpful for you to do a video like this of you actually showing your product, so people can be like, oh, that actually is really cool. One thing that makes these CDs very, at least as a product on the outside, different is that it's not, this is called a digipack, so if you want something that looks like this, get a digipack. It's 4 panels. They have 2-panel ones, I think, or maybe not, but the jewel cases, I think, are only 2 or 3 pictures, depending. And I found that they fall apart. They just don't make them well anymore. And honestly, I'm not super impressed with the quality of the cardboard. One of them came a little bent and the color was rubbing off. So I don't know if I'll order from them again. However, and it also leaves a lot of fingerprints, if you can't tell. A lot of fingerprints. But I am very happy with them, and they are something that I'm proud of. So I would say don't go for the cheapest option. Do something unique that is inspiring to you. If you're inspired by the product, you're a lot more likely to want to talk about it with people, right? And also, what someone told me this weekend about selling CDs is that the best way is to not just talk it, walk the walk. Just do it. The best way to sell something like this, especially because it's so portable, it's not like trying to sell a fridge or something, just hand it to them and just be like, hey, this is $10. So, I think you would really like this, since you've been listening to my music on Spotify and so forth. And this way you can take it home with you and or even just add it to your collection. And, if you want to put it on a shelf as a decoration, you could do that. If you don't have a CD player, but just be like, I don't know about you, but I listen to CDs in my car all the time. And when people tell you that they don't listen to CDs in the car, just be like, well, does your grandma have a CD player? Do your parents have a CD player? I mean, I don't know about you, but my grandma has a CD player. I know she's gonna play it. So, that's another one to tell people. Oh, my grandma passed away. Oh, that's okay. I'm planning on selling CD players in the future, which is actually true, but I need to sell these first before I get into all that. And I am planning on making lots of merch. So I'll probably do a separate video on merch ideas, because I really liked a video on YouTube that I saw about that. But this is all to say that this is a great way to diversify your income, and as is Twitch and Patreon. YouTube will pay you if you get enough views, which I'm not there yet, but if you subscribe below, I'll get there, hopefully. And make sure you see my music video. It's not much. I had to kind of film it during quarantine, so I didn't manage to hire extras or anything, but I did use some stock footage. And also, fun fact, this is an image right from The music video, you can see Rhode Island, that's supposed to say Rhode Island news, I think, and Earth reverses orbit. And it says the Earth has begun spinning backwards as of this date, and it says August 30th, 1966, because I was really inspired by Twilight Zone. And it says thought processes. I'm not sure what the rest of the sentence says. We realize we are not alone. This is happening. So it's like a really cool snapshot of a news article, and I just created that with like the first link I found when I said news article generator. Super, super easy, really cool idea for a music video. Honestly, I'm a little stuck for ideas for my next music videos, and I don't even have a good video camera, so I'm not really sure what to do. So make sure to comment your ideas, because especially if you like one of my songs in particular, just let me know, because I'm planning on creating ones for all my songs. That's another advice tip I'd give to you guys. And definitely my last tip of advice, if you're a recording musician like me, make sure you find a good studio if it seems right for you. Right now I'm realizing that I kind of stink at recording my own stuff. Like, it's just a lot. It's just not coming out right, honestly. So I'm trying to do like a few rough takes. I'm trying to do electric piano and strings and voice and some bass, so I'm actually making this a little more complex than some of my other ones. So far I've only had 3 instruments, so I'll have 4. All using my brand new keyboard, so I'm really happy with it. And it's a Yamaha, so if you're keyboard shopping, definitely look up Yamaha, and definitely I would say 600 range is much better than 300. That's what I had before, and I've had a much better time with it. But yeah, I am gonna be booking a studio session to record my single. I wouldn't recommend it for recording an album because that can get kind of expensive per hour, but if you're gonna record a single and you don't have like much else to record at the moment, it's a really good idea. And I found someone who might be able to do like 40 per hour, and he's experienced, so he could do like only 3 to 5 hours, which is a really short amount of time actually. And this also includes the mixing and the mastering, because that can be really expensive, so I definitely know I'm going to take the opportunity. One last thing is look up Lista Valls. It's called Lista Valls, I don't know, vinyl or something. If you Google that, you'll be able to find, I think it's by invite only, but I had seen an ad on Facebook for them, and it looks like that they're producing quite a few records. They're on their like 1000th and something or something now. But yeah, basically I might be doing a recording session in New York, which is insane because I'm all the way in Rhode Island. I don't know how I'm gonna do this with COVID-19, but because there was a whole bunch of drama when I just even went to Massachusetts. It was like, oh no, Rhode Island's on the list, and I mean, I survived, but it's definitely a scary time, and I'm just trying really hard to make some kind of, even just one book online, so, and I don't feel like putting all the links in my description, honestly. I'm too lazy for that tonight, so hopefully you watch this all the way through, and I'll just probably put one link just for the CDs and my Bandcamp, and yeah. I hope these tips helped you in figuring out what may be holding you back as a musician. And to close this off, I would just say something that my therapist told me. It was to think in the mind of abundance, not of lack. Which is easier said than done. You know, when I've been trying to even make this flyer, there's been a lot of doubts. And even when I told people about it, they're like, oh my god, she has no idea what she's doing, she's gonna get disappointed. It's like, not really. I mean, the other thing that I'm planning on doing is requiring a merch table and also requiring to be able to take requests. Not every venue likes that. So it's like, well, if they say no, it's not the end of the world. It just means that they're not the right venue for you, or maybe you didn't have enough specifics, or too many specifics about what you wanted. And it's all about being true to yourself. And the thing is, people are generally pretty nice around here. I realized that people just won't know what to pay you if you don't ask for it. And also, as a freelancer, we have a lot of freedom. There's people like in other industries, like my mom, who feels like she's underpaid, for example, and there's nothing she can do about that. She's saving lives, and there's not really. And I mean, I don't think nurses are necessarily underpaid so much as they're overworked. They don't have enough resources to get only 40 hours, is what I'm trying to say. It's not that they're underpaid at all, it's just that they're overworked. But other professions are definitely underpaid. And the thing is, as freelancers, honestly, it's our own fault. As musicians, it's our own fault that people don't pay for music anymore. And it's like, no, people actually will be interested. And I'm still learning about how to market myself. I've only learned this in the past 3 months, so, and it probably shows. You know, I haven't learned the emotional tactics that a lot of marketers use. However, I like to be real with people, so I'm hoping that, you know, just being like, hey, I'm just trying to survive here. Like, my favorite song to play is Everybody Knows by Dixie Chicks. It's like, I'm just barely getting by. Like, it's kind of true for a lot of people right now. And if it's the right person, they'll empathize. And maybe if they aren't the right person, maybe they won't. But, you know, that's an angle you can definitely play when you're trying to market yourself as a musician. So, yeah. I'm honestly really nervous to create these flyers. But I will report back to you guys, hopefully, if YouTube lets me. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know how soon it will be that I'll get to approach venues, but I'm basically going to approach ones that I've been to before that I've seen musicians actually play at, like recently, since that can change. And they might laugh in my face, but it'll just mean that they're not the right venue for me. And hopefully more actual concert venues will open up. Right now there's only like one at the moment that I know of, but I think there are more theaters and more things opening up, so it's just a matter of knowing who to get in touch with. And also, yeah, make sure you look in theaters that have like comedians and stuff. I'm such a proper speaker. And stuff. Okay. So I'm a little tired, so I'm going to end this now. And make sure to hit the subscribe button. And also my Twitch, if you were wondering, is Tara_Gose. It's also my Instagram handle. And also my Facebook page. And I am planning on posting more events to there. My first real concert is going to be hosted by Move-In Artists. So just follow their page and you'll find me. So yeah. Alright. Bye for now.